Welcome, ladies, degenerates, and gentlemen. We are back.
College
Week zero,
football,
baby.
week zero. Um, Fuskies, I haven't really dove into this week a whole lot yet. I'll be diving into it more tomorrow. I was more focused on the Big 12 conference as a whole. Um, I'll have a pick or two for this weekend. Not a whole lot of games. They're more spread out over the weekend, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm definitely excited for that Georgia Tech Florida State game. That's going to be a real good one. I'll probably have some action on that one. But like I said, we have discussed. We've did some research on the Big 12 for this season. We have some conference newcomers this year: Colorado, the Buffs, Utah, Arizona, and Arizona State have all moved over to the Big 12 after just the absolute abomination of a conference, Pac-12. I don't know what the hell happened, but everyone left. There's just two teams left: Oregon State and Washington State. I don't know. I mean, do they automatically play in the conference championship now? Like, how does that work?
There's still standings on ESPN and every site that you check. So
That's what I'm saying. No matter what they do, whether they go 3-9, they play in the conference championship game. Like that's just wild to me. But
yeah, money talks, baby.
yeah, nonetheless, Pac-12 is smaller, and those four teams have moved over. If you remember correctly, Houston, Cincinnati, BYU, and UCF all joined the Big 12 the year prior. Texas, the 2023 conference champions, Hook'em, and Oklahoma, they have both moved to the SEC starting in this upcoming season. Conference newcomers last year had a combined conference record of 8-28. It was a tough
Solid.
year. It was a tough year for those four teams, but they all moved from the group of five conferences. So it's not like Utah is coming over from a Power Five into another Power Five. So I don't take a whole lot of stock in that 8-28 number. I just wanted to share that. Let's kick it off with Colorado. Everyone was super high on this team last year. Deion Sanders' first year as head coach. Shedeur Sanders, QB. Travis Hunter, the wide receiver corner, an absolutely electric player. I'm not denying the top end talent here. They have that top end talent, but I feel like there's just still way too much spotlight on them. I don't think they're a great team top to bottom. They went 4-8 last year, 1-8 in the Pac-12, and they're moving over to the Big 12 with you don't have Oregon and Washington, but you have Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Kansas, Iowa State. Still got some great teams. I think they're going to struggle along with the teams that have moved over from the Pac-12 with them. They have the 96th rated recruiting class coming into the season. I believe I read that they had the eighth ranked transfer class in the transfer portal, which is pretty good. They definitely needed some veteran talent in the transfer portal to help them out, but I don't see them getting a whole lot better than last year. I have their record prediction at 4-9. I like their underwin total 5.5. I just don't. I see them getting a fifth win potentially in there, but I just do not see them getting a sixth win and going bowling.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's a big swing from even 2 years ago. They sucked. They had all
Yep.
the hype coming in with Coach Prime. I think they're taking step ups, especially with the move. I understand the money and the TV rights and the conference realignment and all that shit, but
Yeah.
you go, what did they have? 2 wins before Coach Prime, then they went up to four.
Yep.
They have the big names, but I think they're
Yep.
getting they're riding the hype train a little too fast. They should have got off a couple stops ago, I think. It's not going to be a
Yep.
very fruitful season, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I was never on the hype train last year. Um, they came out to what? It was a 3-0 or a 3-1 start.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
they
then they
came out and
went.
they won their first three games at least. They might have, did they win their first four?
Yeah,
They might have won their first four and then didn't get another win.
yeah, yeah. They beat TCU, and then they had that. I think it was week 2. They played Colorado State, and they won, but Colorado State ended up. It was a crazy. That was a crazy game.
Yeah,
But yeah, but like I said, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I just don't see it. I mean,
I agree.
Texas and Oklahoma leaving. Everyone's, the Big 12 is wide open. It is, but
Not
it's
really.
wide open for those teams that finished 3 through 5, 3 through 6 the previous year.
Yeah.
But like I said, record prediction, I have them at 4-9. I like their under. And yeah, moving
Yeah,
on
they're
here.
just one last
Oh,
thing before we move on. The
yeah,
so
yeah.
last year I feel like all the hype with Coach Prime. I think this year it's almost the opposite.
You
Like
think them
like
going
they
one
were
and
they were
eight?
like, "Oh, he's bringing in all these people, blah blah blah," and he did, and they won some games, but then kind of just fell off.
Yeah, big time
Now
fell off.
this year, I feel like everyone's like, "Oh no, they're gonna suck."
Yeah,
So, I mean, I
yeah,
don't think they're gonna be great,
yeah,
but I could see them surprising a few people in a couple games, possibly.
yeah. I mean, if they get to 6 wins and they go bowling,
Right. That's what
I'm
that's the
I'm
ceiling.
not I'm yeah, I think that's the ceiling. I don't see them making a bid at the conference or nothing like that.
Hmm.
I could see them making a bowl game,
Right.
but I think it's unlikely.
I
I
agree.
think I think 6 is the ceiling, 4 or 5 is more likely here. All right, moving on here to Oklahoma State, 2023 record. They were 10-4 overall, 7-2 in the Big 12. This year they are returning 10 starters on defense and 10 starters on offense. So they're bringing back a lot of guys that know the system. This is a team that had a great run towards the end of the season and ended up in the Big 12 championship game, ultimately losing to Texas. Um, I think the best running back in the country, Ollie Gordon, finished with 1,700 plus yards and 21 total touchdowns. This man is an absolute beast. Mike Gundy, fantastic coach. I think plus 750. This is my play. Plus 750 to win the Big 12. Um, Over under win total projection. They DK has them at 8. I like the over. My record prediction for them is 10-2. A lot of players coming back. Ollie Gordon specifically. I think this team is too good not to get 8 wins, and I like them to return to that Big 12 championship game this
I'm
time.
gonna
This time winning.
Yeah, I'm gonna be joining you on that actually.
Yeah,
So that makes it two squad ride podcast bets.
yeah. Plus 750, man. Like, damn. I think that's way too much value for a team that played in it last year and is returning all his talent. And especially with Mike Gundy as a coach. God, guy knows how to win.
I love Mike Gundy.
Mike Gundy.
It's just a great name.
Great name. Like you told you if you asked me,
Utah and
like,
K-State are the favorites, huh?
yeah, they are.
Wow.
They are. Which I mean, understandable. So Cam Rise coming back for Utah,
Yeah.
Kansas State, great team. Avery Johnson, upcoming redshirt sophomore. I'll get into them when we get there. But
All
two
right.
good teams. But I like Oklahoma State to at least get to that game and plus 750 to win that game.
I'm in agreement. I just put it in.
Let's go. I love it. I love it. Texas Tech 7-6 overall last year, 5-4 in the Big 12, plus 1,400 to win the Big 12. Over under win total 7-5, 7.5. They have 4 returning starters on offense, 5 returning defensive starters, so a little under half of their total starting production coming back. Offensively, their spotlight is definitely Taj Brooks. 1,500 plus yards, 10 TDs last year. He led all the Power 5 running backs in carries. So there's a little bit of tread on those tires, but he's entering his senior season, and he's considered to be one of the top backs in the college landscape. Why I'm not too high on them is they need to find some kind of identity throwing the ball. That was their weakness last year offensively, and 3 out of the top 4 pass catchers are not returning this season. Their recruiting class, though, 24th nationally, and they are ranked first in the Big 12. So expect this class to bring some life, but more so next year and the year after that. Record prediction, I got them at 7-5, so just under 7.5. Wouldn't be shocked if they pushed it to 8.
Still not terrible.
No, definitely not. But I wouldn't be shocked if they can push it to 8 or 9 wins. But I like them kind of repeating that season, and I'll be definitely looking at them the following season or two here with that recruiting class coming in.
They start Abilene Christian, Wazoo, North Texas.
Yeah, that's pretty favorable at the gate.
Yeah, that's very possibly 3-0.
Yeah, they especially with that quarterback from Wazoo moving to Miami, Cam Ward, I think his name is.
Yep.
That dude was nasty. But yeah, he's now on Miami. But yeah, 7-5. I don't really think they have a chance at the Big 12 title, but we'll see. It's college football.
I was just gonna say it's college football.
It's college football, baby.
That's why I'm not a fan
love
of
it.
any team in college football.
Yeah,
it's just devastation every year, and I feel bad for you guys.
Yeah, it is what it is. Texas is back. It's all I care about. All right, moving on here. Cincinnati, 3-9 last year. Conference newcomer. Newcomer. Did I say newcomer? Man, it's getting late. God damn.
Yeah, hey, we gotta do what we gotta do,
Yeah, newcomer. 1-8 in the Big 12, plus 8,000 to win the Big 12. You can, yeah, very fair. I mean, no one's betting this team to win the Big 12. If you do, you're loaded up on a whole lot of booze
or Cincinnati.
Late night. Yeah, Cincinnati fans, I guess. But I mean, there's not one person on this planet that I've met that's a Cincinnati fan. But over under win totals 5. It's a tough introduction to the Big 12 for them in Cincinnati. For Cincinnati, they had a new head coach, Scott Hattersfield, last season. They are returning a lot of offensive production, though. The entire offensive line, their leading rusher, Corey Kiner, clipped 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns last year. And their top receiver, Xavier Henderson, 782 yards, 3 touchdowns. And they are bringing in a transfer quarterback from Indiana, Brendan Sorsby, who had 15 tutties and 5 picks last year. Expect them to improve from a 3-9 season, but not. I don't see them. I mean, I think 5 might be their ceiling. I have their record prediction at 4-9.
Yeah, I don't have much for you there.
Yeah, no, they're one of the teams. It's like plus 8,000. It's look at a few things on them and see how the season plays out, and if you got an edge on a game here and there with them.
How far they have fallen from Luke Fickell and Desmond Ridder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, they're in the college football playoff.
Yeah, it's tough.
Insane.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. But like I said, who gives a fuck? It's Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's true.
Moving on to Utah, moving over from the Pac-12. 8-5 last year, 5-4 overall in the Pac-12. They are plus 320 to win the Big 12, mostly because of the return of Cam Rising.
Mm-hmm.
I love Cam Rising.
Yeah, he's a baller.
He is an absolute baller. He's not going to go out there and be the flashy guy or nothing like that, but he's the grittiest guy, I think, in the Big 12. This dude just knows how to get it done. But they have 7 offensive returners, 8 defensive. It's a lot of guys coming back, especially with Cam Rising leading them at the helm. they have a chance to dominate this season in the Big 12. My prediction for them is 10-2. I think they end up in the championship game against Oklahoma State. But he said it once, we'll say it again. It's college football. 16 teams
one
in
of
this
those
conference.
losses is one of those losses you're giving them at Oklahoma State in the fourth week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I think they fall to Oklahoma State in week 4.
Is this Utah is the team that always fucking goes off in late night games, right? Is that who I'm thinking of? I was getting Utah and
Um,
Houston confused.
I think that's Houston. Not last year, but they
No, just historically, like I always feel like I watch Utah. Who who beat Caleb Williams in that game where it was Caleb Williams was up crazy at halftime with USC.
it might have been Utah 2
I
years
think
ago.
it's Utah.
I think it was because I don't think they didn't beat them last year without Cam Rising. So yeah, I think it might have been 2 years ago in Caleb Williams' sophomore year.
I don't know. I can't confirm, but it's either Utah or Houston. But if they're playing a night game, you better fucking bet on them.
Utah at night, noted.
Yeah,
I mean, they are a mountain time zone team, so they're hosting a game Saturday
they're
night.
comfortable.
That's what they do. But yeah, I have them 10-2. Probably going to end up in that championship game. Hopefully they lose and I win my money. But moving on, moving on here, Kansas State 9-4 last year, 6-3 in the Big 12. Their over/under win total is set at 9.5. They've been a solid team in the Big 12 for a handful of years now. They've had a tough time stepping up to that top tier in the Big 12. Texas and Oklahoma kind of dominating, especially Oklahoma. I know Texas has kind of been a newcomer to the top of the Big 12 since the Colt McCoy days. But anyway, I think they have a chance here to kind of take over if everything goes well. I can see them being the cream of the crop here. They only returned 37% of their production from last season's campaign, but with rising sophomore and Heisman hopeful Avery Johnson under center, this team should be right at the top of the preseason favorite, which they are plus 380 to win the Big 12. Avery Johnson is my preseason Heisman pick at plus 2,500, 25 to 1. I love this kid. If you don't know much about him, Fuski, I need you to watch a YouTube video or two. This kid is absolutely electric. He's just like your freak athlete. Like I don't even know how to describe it. Like he doesn't look like he's an absolute freak, but he's an absolute freak.
I believe you.
He can run the ball, throw the ball.
Plus 380, huh?
To win the Big 12.
Yeah, I can see it. Shit.
Avery Johnson are 25 to 1 to win the Heisman.
Yeah, if you can't tell for the viewers, I mostly focused on the NFL. That's why I'm kind of sitting back here.
Yeah, you're kind of
words.
Looking at the numbers as we go through here.
I'm going through schedules and stuff as you talk. But
yeah.
My
my record prediction is 10-2. My record predictions. I got 3 teams at 10-2.
That's gonna be tough to do.
It's gonna be tough to do, and I mean it's just kind of like you look at it from now. It's tough. You don't know what exactly everyone's going to be when they face each other later in the year. But this is just going off of early in the year. But I think all 3 teams go 10-2. Only 2 of them get to the championship game. I think Oklahoma State beats Utah at home, so they got the head-to-head there, But we'll see how it all goes. But I'm hoping Avery Johnson has a great season, so I can win some cash. The guy's a freak. I need you to watch a video at some point soon.
It's on. I'm digging the hair.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking. It's wild. He just brings some kind of different energy to the football field, and I love it. But we can move on here to Arizona. Their 2023 record 10-3, 7-2 in the Pac-12. They are plus 1,100 to win the Big 12. Over/under win total is 8.5. Arizona introduces a new head coach, Brent Brennan from San Jose State. I'm not a huge fan of the hire. I figured after Arizona having a fantastic year like they did, they would have bring in a bigger name. I mean, Brent Brennan led San Jose State to a couple of good seasons, above 500. But I mean, for San Jose State, for him to go from San Jose State to Arizona, I figured they would be back-to-back 10-win seasons, and he's trying to make a move to that upper echelon of college football. But 6-win season, 7-win season, not a huge fan of the fit. Jed Fish is the reason why Brent Brennan is there. Jed Fish left for Washington. Kalen DeBoer went to Alabama, so there was a need there for Washington. Nonetheless, though, they should still be a solid team. Sophomore quarterback Noah Fafita returns after a great season last year. He took over after a few games after their starter got hurt, and he led Arizona, obviously, to a great season. He had 25 touchdowns and 6 picks. He looks to build off of that and is definitely a name to watch for the Heisman, plus 4,000, 40 to 1. Arizona went into last year the win total of 5.5 and absolutely squashed that number.
Yeah, they outperformed. Their schedule is looking pretty tough here.
Yeah, I mean, the schedule is definitely looking tough. I don't have them. I have them record prediction 8-4 under their win total, but Fafita brings back one of his favorite targets, I can't speak, Teteroa McMillan, 90 catches, 1,400 yards, and 10 touchdowns last year. One of the best receivers in the nation. Expect the offense for Arizona to set the tone. Record prediction 8-4. So just under that, I mean, I can see them pushing it to a 9, but I don't see them getting 10. I don't see them in the top 3-4 of the conference. They'll be there, but not quite there.
I had them at 8 max.
Just going through the schedule. Yeah.
And that's obviously just scrolling through quick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, moving on here to Baylor. 2 years ago, they found themselves a top 5-6 team in the country. Followed up last year with an overall 3-9 record, 2-7 in the Big 12. Brutal. Plus 6,000 to win the Big 12. Over under win total 5.5. Head coach Dave Aranda enters this season on the hot seat after consecutive losing seasons. So it was 3 years ago, and then the year before last, under 500. This past year, well below 500.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah. Baylor features a new starting quarterback this season. Toledo transfer DeQuan Finn, 22 touchdowns, 9 picks. Expect them to improve from a 3-9 finish, but do I think they get past that 5.5 number? I don't think so. I lean the under. I think they're right at 5 wins. I have them at 5-7. Wouldn't be shocked if they get to 6 and go bowling, but I have them right at 5.
Yeah. No. Big stinker.
Yep. All right. BYU, the Mormons.
Yeah.
5-7 overall last year, 2-7 in the Big 12, plus 12,000. So I think they're the dogs of the. Yeah, they have the worst odds in the Big 12 to win. Their over/under win total is 4.5. They struggled as a newcomer. I have to stop saying that. Newcomer. They struggled as a newcomer in the Big 12 last year. This season, their biggest strength lies in the offensive line. They're returning 5 out of 6 linemen who eclipsed 300 snaps. The guy they lost, though, was their top guy, Kingsley Suamatai. He went in the second round in the NFL draft this past year. The biggest question mark on this team is a QB situation. It will either be Jake Retzlaff, who had the 4th worst passing grade in the Power 5 last season, or transfer Jerry Bohannon, who missed all last season with an injury. But in the 2021-2022 season. He played well, throwing 17 touchdowns and only throwing 6 picks. I'm interested to see who wins the job and how it plays out. I haven't seen them name a starter yet, so we'll see. But do not expect BYU to be making a bowl game this season. I have them at 5-8.
Yeah, their schedule isn't too bad.
No, that's the thing. That's why I have them at
Yeah.
5.
Jerry Bohannon's a senior too, so if he
Yeah,
does win the job, that could help them a bit, but
yeah.
still not much to write home about, I guess.
Nope. Not a whole lot to talk about there. Houston. Moving on here. 4-8 last year, 2-7 in the Big 12. Another one of the conference newcomers who sucked pond water in Big 12 last year. Their over/under win total is 3.5. The low. That's what I don't understand though. It's like they have a game lower win total, but they have a higher odds to win the Big 12.
Well, they play Oklahoma week 2,
Okay.
so that could ruin a season pretty quick.
Yeah.
They're gonna get.
I don't really have a whole lot of notes on. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of notes. They fired their head coach. I forget his name. He had the long hair. He was. I liked him actually a lot. But they bring in Willie Fritz, who is the head coach at Tulane the last couple of years. So I think it's a great hire. They definitely seem to be in year one of a kind of a reset, rebuild. Their bright spot on offense is quarterback Donovan Smith, a bigger guy, athlete, can make plays out of the pocket. Definitely the bright spot, but I don't see a whole lot from the Cougars here this season. My record prediction for them is 2-10. I like the under.
2-10. Yeah.
Yeah, you just wait. I have a better prediction for this next team.
All right, let's do it.
Arizona State, 2023 record, 3-9, 2-7 in the Pac-12, plus 10,000 to win the Big 12. Over/under win total 4.5. I have no notes on this team because as I was reading, I was like, this team is going to suck and blow. Record prediction 1-11. I have no notes. They're going to suck. It's just not worth to talk about. Let me look at their schedule real quick.
It's Wyoming, Mississippi State, Texas Tech, Kansas, Utah, Cincinnati.
I think it was week 1. I think Wyoming. I gave them one of the first 3. I was like, they'll win one of the first 3, and then they're going to get swept out of the conference. I don't think they win a conference game. But I mean, they're still feeling the sanctions from Herm Edwards and recruiting and stuff like that. You kind of set them back a little bit.
Definitely.
So it's I forget exactly what I read, but they're returning like 2 starters on offense, something like that. They just have no production coming back. Yeah, I mean, it's college football. Can guys burst onto the scene with a snap of a finger? 100%, but I do not see them doing anything crazy. Take their under. Take under 4.5. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna find that and take that.
You go next team. I'll find the odds for you.
Yes, please. TCU 5-7 last year, 3-6 in the Big 12. An absolute disastrous letdown of a season after they played in the national championship game the year before that. They didn't even get to a bowl game. We all expected them to take a step back, but we figured Sonny Dykes and the Horned Frogs would play in a bowl game at the very least, which they failed to do. They should have a very solid offense this season, returning their 2 top pass catchers and adding a Boise State transfer, Eric McAllister, who had 875 yards and 5 touchdowns. Redshirt sophomore quarterback Josh Hoover is the presumptive starter for the Frogs, 15 touchdowns, 9 picks last year after taking over the starting spot in October. I like TCU. I think they improve. I think they get to a bowl game. They're not quite in that top tier, upper echelon of the Big 12 this season. 7-5 is my predicted record. Wouldn't be shocked if they get to 8 or 9 wins. I'm not betting any over-unders on the win total, but 7-5 is my prediction.
Yeah.
You get those odds on the on Arizona State?
No, I have not. There's a lot of college football teams.
Oh yeah, I was scrolling through it the other day, and I was like, they have to organize this better by conference or something. You know what you should do? You should look up. You can search like Arizona State football,
No, I did.
and you did.
All
They
it
didn't have
has
it.
is winner college football playoff conference winner to make the title game
I
when you
saw,
search.
I saw it the other day. Maybe they took it down. They do that shit all the time.
I got it. Minus 170 for under 4.5.
Yeah, I mean it's juice. They're squeezing some oranges there, but I do not think they even get close to 4.5. But
Arizona State regular season home wins 2.5. That's a crazy.
then we take the under too. I mean, they
Betting is
haven't only won a
crazy.
game, but we can move on again. You got anything on TCU? Or you good move on?
No, I agree with you. I think they're going to be better, but
Yeah,
not great.
yeah. Kind of in that kind of mid. You know, it's right in the middle. You know, in the conversation, but they'll give a couple tough games to those top teams, but I don't think they'll be at the top. Kansas, moving on here. 9-4 last year, 5-4 in the Big 12. Their over under win total is 8. Um, I just think Kansas becoming a respectful team in the college landscape is good for the sport. Having such a good basketball team, and then a dog shit football team just didn't make any sense at all. So it's good to see them and like just seeing where they've come from too. Like 3-4 years ago, like how quickly they've come up. They were awful, absolutely awful. They lost. Didn't they lose to like UConn a couple years ago? Like
Yeah, they stunk.
yeah, Kansas in any sport. Actually basketball. UConn's nasty at basketball, but for the
Yep.
most part, um, Kansas should be good. You know, it makes sense.
Jalen Daniels.
Yeah. QB Jalen Daniels was named the starter. We all knew he was going to be the starter. Um, he's the bright spot for this Kansas team after missing almost the entire previous season. The year prior to last, he had 13 touchdowns and 2 picks, and then last year he had 5 touchdowns and 1 pick. So combine those, 18 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's a great quarterback, mobile, and move out of the pocket. Um, and I like him. He's another name. I mean, I think this Big 12 is just loaded with quarterback talent. We got Avery Johnson, Jalen Daniels, Noah Fafita.
Cam Rising.
Great Cam Rising. KJ Jefferson now on UCF. We got great quarterback play in the Big 12. I'm excited to watch this conference. Like going through and like doing all the research, I'm like pumped to watch this, how this plays out. But I mean, even
What did you have
though,
for
oh,
9-3?
what was that? Yeah, my record prediction is
Over.
9-3. I have them over their 8 win total. Last year the only LSU, Oregon, and Georgia had more efficient offenses, and you're adding Jalen Daniels to that offense. They return a top 10 running back unit, their top 3 pass catchers, and returning 3 offensive linemen. So, I mean, this team is going to be prolific on offense. Defense will be the Achilles heel for this Jayhawk squad. I don't think they're going to be a great defensive team, but I think their offense will be good enough to lead them past their win total at 8. I have the over 8.
Yep, I just took it too. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I haven't placed it yet. I have it all in my note. I have all my plays in my notes. I just haven't placed anything yet officially. Besides, I did place Avery Johnson. So Yeah, Canes, I think they'll be a good team this year. UCF moving on here. Man, there's so many teams now, man. This is brutal. 2023 record for UCF was 6-7, 3-6 in the Big 12. They're plus 900 to win the Big 12. I saw that number and I was like, whoa. Seems very low for a team that went 3-6 in the Big 12 last year. I started doing the research. Gus Malzahn enters his 4th season as a head coach, and the strength of this UCF team will be their rushing attack. Quarterback KJ Jefferson, if you remember, was the quarterback the last few years of Arkansas. The past 3 seasons, he's compiled 62 passing touchdowns and only 15 picks. In those same seasons, he's rushed for a combined 1,500 yards and 14 scores.
Yeah, he's fun to watch.
Fun to watch. Big dude. He can run over guys. It's awesome. With him at the helm, they also have the backfield duo of R.J. Harvey, who had 1,400 yards and 16 touchdowns last year. Then Toledo transfer Penny Boone, who had 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns. So this team offensively is going to be prolific. They're going to run the ball. KJ Jefferson, clearly, with those stats I gave out, he can throw the ball. They lost Javon Baker to the Pats in the draft this past year, but I still think this team could be very good. I think the defense will be the true reason why this team shines or falls this season. The front 7 last year was abysmal last season, ranking 125th in explosive run rate allowed, and their explosive pass rate allowed was 40th. Much better than the run defense. So the front 7 has to step up if they want to end up winning this Big 12. But they have also added safety from Cincinnati through the transfer portal, Deshaun Pace. So expect the pass defense to be similar, but they definitely got to improve on the front 7 side of things if they want to.
Excuse me. It's a decent schedule.
Yeah, I got them at 7-5, right at that win total. So we'll see.
Yeah. Win total is what, 7.5?
7.5. Yep.
I like the over.
All right, Fusky. I don't have the schedules up right now. That's a tough part. I went through all of them, and
Well, I'll run through UCF right now.
mm-hmm.
UNH at home.
Win.
Sam Houston at home.
Win.
TCU on the road.
Loss.
Colorado at home.
Win.
At Florida. Gators.
That was the one I was iffy on because Florida has a tremendously difficult schedule this year. And I think I haven't looked at Florida's schedule. I forget which week, like who they play before and after that week. That plays a big part of it. I'm just not sure if UCF
They
can
play
win
Mississippi
at the
State
Swamp
before UCF, and then they play Tennessee after that.
Yeah, so they're sandwiched. I mean, I think Mississippi State is going to be great, but they play at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's give UCF the win there. At 4.
At home against Cincy.
5.
At Iowa State.
Loss.
At home against BYU.
Win at 6.
At home against Arizona.
I think they give that one a loss.
On the road at Arizona State.
Win.
On the road at West Virginia.
Loss.
And then at home against Utah to close it out.
Yeah, so I mean, before that they're at 7, so they'll be 7-8 win team.
Right up there.
They'll be right around there
See
for sure.
Strong start before the Florida game, but then again, it's 2 Florida teams, so you never know.
Exactly, it's going to be
Upsets all the time.
Yeah, I think UCF might be. I don't know if they'll be favored, but it's gonna be close to a pick 'em that game. It's gonna be close to a pick 'em. But moving on here, we got 2 teams left. West Virginia, 9-4 last year, 6-3 in the Big 12. They completely exceeded expectations last season with a 9-4 overall finish. Expect them to compete at the top with in the Big 12 again this season. I say that actually, but I really don't think so. I think they take a step back. They're going to be good offensively, but defensively, I don't think they're going to.
They opened the season against Penn State.
Yeah, they're not going to win that game.
They're gonna get fucking buried, and then they're gonna have to
Yeah,
claw all the way back.
yeah. So they return Garrett Green, 16 touchdowns, 4 picks last year. They return one of the nation's best, if not the best, running back duo in the country. I think UCF has a better rushing attack in the conference, but both of these guys, Jaheim White and CJ Donaldson Jr., rushed for 800 plus yards last year for the Mountaineers. So, do I expect the Mountaineers to challenge Utah, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Iowa State? No, but we'll see. I have them at 6-6.
Yeah. What's the win total? 7.5? Six and a
Six and a
half?
half.
Yeah, they have a tough one
Mm-hmm.
because they're gonna get slaughtered opening week. They probably will win against UAlbany, but
I hope so.
they go to Pitt,
Yeah.
which is kind of like a rivalry game. And then
Yeah. No, that's a big rivalry. I think they lose that game. I have that as
other
I
than
have that as a
other
loss.
than Baylor and Cincy, they play all the better teams in the Big 12 the rest of the season.
Yep.
Kansas, Oak State, Iowa State, Kansas State, Arizona, Texas Tech, UCF.
Yeah, that's they got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, they're clipped.
That's for sure. 100%. They're gonna struggle. But six and
Last one.
six, yeah, I think them winning the Big 12 is not going to happen. Plus 1,800, they're like one of the top 6 teams odds wise to
That's
win.
terrible.
Yeah, I would not play that. I think that's bad value given the other teams in this conference. But moving on, last team, we got Iowa State, 7-6 record last year, 6-3 in the Big 12. Returning 8 starters on offense, 9 starters on defense. Rocco Brecht, 23 touchdowns, 8 picks, has all 5 linemen returning, along with Jaden Higgins, 983 yards and 6 touchdowns, and Jalen Newell, 820 yards and 7 touchdowns returning. With the returning production on both sides of the ball, I can see Iowa State making a run at the chip. Plus 950, I like that value. My order of teams that I think are going to win it, I have Oklahoma State 1, Kansas State 2, Utah 3, Iowa State 4. So I think they're right there. I think they could do it, but let's take a look at their schedule real quick. I like this Iowa State team.
It's not terrible. They open up at home against North Dakota, so should
Yeah,
be a
we'll
win.
give that a win.
Uh, Away against Iowa, rivalry game.
I give that a win.
Hosting Arkansas State.
Give that a win. That's 3.
At Houston.
I give that a win. That's 4.
Oh, home against Baylor.
That's 5.
At West Virginia.
That's the one that I think they lose. 5-1.
Yeah. Home against UCF.
I think they win 6-1.
Home against Texas Tech.
I think they win 7-1.
At Kansas.
I think they lose 7-2.
Home against Cincy. That's a win.
Yes, 8-2.
At Utah.
8-3.
And then home against Kansas State to finish it off. That's a toss-up.
It's a toss-up, but I have them winning that one. Record prediction 9-3. So I like them over 7.5. That's one of my plays. I haven't completely locked it in yet, but I will. I will be. Anything that I have like a prediction over, what if it's over one? If it's over one, like what I'm saying, that's when I'll play it.
7.5 minus 140. It's not terrible.
Over 7.5 minus 140.
DraftKings, of course, exclusively DraftKings here.
Yes.
Not a
I don't,
sponsor, but
hey, one day we'll see.
that's the plan, right?
And that's the plan, man. That's the plan. But yeah, here we
That's the Big
are,
12.
the Big 12
We're here.
breakdown right there, man.
Week
That was a
0.
mouthful.
Yeah.
You got 2 picks here.
I got 2 picks for week 0. First 2 games.
Okay.
It's I'm
Garen,
starting.
Garen Tech.
Yeah, I'm starting off. Is that what I wrote? Yeah, Gearin Tech plus the 10.
Close. Pretty close.
Yeah, I like Georgia Tech plus the 10 against Florida State, and I like New Mexico plus the 11 against Montana State.
There's a
Two
lot of
dogs to start it off, and to be honest with you, I would not hate upping a unit and teasing them both to
ooh.
16, 17 apiece.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, those are my 2 sides. I haven't put it in yet. Those are Saturday games, 12 and 4.
And
We're here.
Friday, Saturday. Dude, next Saturday we got Clemson, Georgia, Penn State, West Virginia, Miami, and Florida. God, dude. It's here. Fuski.
We made it.
We
We made
fucking
it,
made
boys.
it. We made it through the dog days of summer. Here we are. Oh man, I already have a play. Oh man, I love it. We're here. Let's do it.
We're back.
We're back. We got Notre Dame, Texas A&M. Got some good games. Week 1, man.
Hell fucking yeah.
Got some good games. LSU, USC on Sunday that week. Next week. Then we got Boston College, Florida State Monday that week. Let's go. Let's rock and roll.
All
We're
right, we
here.
did it.
We got some research to do, but we're here.
We'll be back for the rest of college football, the rest of NFL before we kick off for real. Week 0 is just a little appetizer before we really dive in.
Absolutely. Degents 2024. The season kicks off. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll
Yes,
be back.
sir. Appreciate y'all.
Go football.
Stiff